Ladies and gentlemen, today's episode is dedicated to the seven souls that were taken from us yesterday in Nashville, Tennessee. You will not be forgotten. That being said, we ride. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, we have returned. Welcome to today's edition of the XFL Aftermath, alongside my colleague, the ever so glorious Black Ric Flair.
Woo! You got a flare and a rude in one shot.
I kind of pretty much had to at this very moment. Rocket Reese, I am your host, the Captain Ron Johnson, the original asshole. And big shouts out also goes out to the Palm Beach Capos. It was great talking to the coach yesterday. Definitely look forward to talking to him a little bit more down the road. They are heading into their bye week. They're looking to try to get things back on the winning path. That being said, they weren't the only ones that were looking to get back on the winning path. There were literally every single team was looking to try to get themselves back on the right foot. This close with the playoffs, literally on the line. Literally the playoffs. We are 4 weeks from the playoffs. The playoffs. Yeah. For Orlando's case, they're just hoping to win a game.
Yeah.
Yesterday was not this past weekend was not in their favor, and while we talk smack about them, well, they may have a legitimate gripe right now. But we go back to week 6 and all the anarchy that is. We start up with Orlando.
Those very Guardians.
Yeah. Here we go. So
yeah, that's right. 26-19 defeat at the hands of the suddenly red hot Seattle Sea Dragons, or maybe should I say like orange hot, since that's like one of their colors. But anyway,
yeah. But to stay on this game though, Orlando may have an actual gripe, and it's not in regards to the team. It's actually in regards to the Mr. officiating himself, Dean Blandino, who apparently is still a little salty about the fact that Houston suffered its first loss, that they just wanted to he wanted to punish everybody else. I say this for a reason. Dean, I'm sure you're a great guy. I'm sure you're a swell guy. I'm sure you are a man that honestly is good at his job. But when you actually call yourself out for that, well, then I got to call you out for it too. So I say this with reason. On Saturday, with the Guardians nursing a 10-6 lead against those very Sea Dragons just before halftime, Blandino was brought on to explain a neutral zone infraction. However, while right before he explained this, he actually sat here and changed his mind and gave it. And this was after giving his perspective. He muttered into his microphone, and I quote, "We actually screwed that up." Al, this was a hot mic moment, at least apparently according to what everybody's pretty much buying. But I'm just pretty much going into the whole gut foo of how he screwed that up so badly that it possibly cost the Guardians a chance to score before the half, with the Sea Dragons going on to claim that 26-19 lead. This was like Guardians are like right there and they're close. But for some crazy off the wall reason, whoo, can you say bullshit? Because this was like when you leave the hands, like we have said this in the NFL. We have said it for MMA, we said it for the NBA, we said it for the NHL. Never leave the game in the hands of the guys in the stripes. Now, Dean Blundino may not have been wearing stripes, but he definitely is the head striper. So that being said, yeah, great job, Dino. You really, really, really fucked that one up.
Yeah. By the way, just for clarification, do we actually happen to have said video?
I am actually trying to see if it is on. I actually noticed it on Twitter, but it's a possibility that it could be up on YouTube. I'm gonna actually go sit here and go up with YouTube right now, and I'm gonna sit here. I'm gonna do my best to try to get this video up. So we go see if I can.
Well, while you're doing that, I'll tell the rest of what actually happened in this one. For the victorious Sea Dragons, Ben DiNucci, 18 for 35, 177, 2 touchdowns and a pick. Yeah, DiNucci was also the leading rusher for the team with 43 yards. Blake Jackson actually had a good game, 6 catches for 79 yards and a touchdown. And Juwan Green also 5 catches, 50 yards and a touchdown. And no fumbles for the Sea Dragons. Did have 2 sacks in the game, and strangely, no interceptions. That was that. Meanwhile, on the Guardian side of the ball, Quentin Dormady, 24 for 44, 243 yards, no touchdowns or picks. Devin Darrington actually had a solid game, 7 carries for 82 yards and 2 touchdowns. Let's see. Receivers
We did
have to catch.
We did have that. We have it now. Here you go.
Watch. Dean Blundino caught on hot mic admitting XFL officiating mistake. Dean Blundino was caught on a hot mic admitting to a mistake made by the officials in Saturday's XFL game between the Seattle Sea Dragons and Orlando Guardians. On the play in question, Orlando was leading 10-6 with possession of the ball with 30 seconds remaining before halftime. Facing a 4th down situation at Seattle's 40-yard line, the Guardians were called for a false start penalty on lineman TJ Stormont, which led to a 4th and 10 punt. While explaining the play, Blundino appeared to be caught on a hot mic admitting the officials were in the wrong for their flag. Blundino, head of officiating for the XFL, said that despite movement from the defensive line, Orlando was called for a false start because the movement happened on the opposite side of the line. After Blundino offered his explanation, ABC showed back the play in question. Commentator Joey Galloway observed that linemen on both sides of the line seemed to jump. His implication was that the defense should have been called for a penalty. After Galloway pointed out the disconnect, Blundino could be heard saying, "We actually screwed that up," before his microphone was shut off. Seattle ended up winning the game 26-19, meaning that the botched call could theoretically have helped to swing the final outcome.
That was actually the best I could do on that one. Apparently that specific one apparently is not showing its face, which would be quite embarrassing for Blundino. However, this would not be the first time that Blundino has actually screwed a lot of calls away, and I get it. It's a new league. You're still trying to get through all the nerves and everything else. You pretty much are the be all end all for most of these games. That got proven last Monday night, last night. But we're gonna get to that one too.
Yep. And just to finish off for the Guardians, Devin Darrington actually did lose a fumble, and Justin Rogers had a fumble, but he actually managed to recover it. Terrence Plummer is the only player on the Guardians that got a sack in the game, but Najim Hussein with an interception. Actually, I think that was the only interception of the game, so that was that. Next up, Battlehawks. Taking flight, and this one, it wasn't even close to being a game, y'all, because the Seahawks, they brought some anti-venom for the Vegas Vipers, 29-6. Yeah, like I said, this one wasn't even close.
This one was probably one of the happiest moments. I mean, I was not worried about this game, but it didn't. But even while I was on my weekend getaway, I still had to at least catch this one, and it's a good thing I did, because one of the main things I was going with was, can the Battlehawks actually stop the run? And I know Luis Perez is a mobile quarterback. Here's how it turned out. AJ McCarron, 23 of 29. He was on a streak up until the last incomplete pass he had. So he was on a nice little streak. But he was 23 of 39, 236 yards for 3 touchdowns. He was only sacked 3 times for 14 yards. Brian Hill kept his thing running as he was carrying 13 times, 62 yards. It was Kareem Walker that actually got the rushing touchdown, 4 carries for 15. And Darius Shepard once again proved why he is a top guy with the Battlehawks. 7 catches for 79 yards and 2 touchdowns. Gary Jennings, 1 catch for 4 yards, getting the other touchdown as well. There were no fumbles from the Battlehawks covered by the Battlehawks in this game, but there were a pair of interceptions from arguably quite shockingly one of the big defensive standouts as of late, Lavert Hill, 2 picks. He actually sat here and showed out in this game, and this was perfect timing on his part. And of course, this all comes down to who is going to actually step up to the plate, who is going to show their nuts. And knowing that the Dragons actually won their game, it was imperative for these guys for the Battlehawks to actually win this game, knowing full well that the second spot, that quintessential second spot in the XFL South Division or North Division Championship is on the line. And from the Vipers side, it was
yeah.
I have no words for it. No.
Yeah.
No. I'm gonna be nice. Luis Perez, 13 of 20 for 99 yards and 2 interceptions, and sacked twice. Brett Huntley steps in. He goes 9 of 18 for 120 yards and the lone touchdown for the Vipers. This was probably one of those things of where you could get everybody in this thing, but if you can't sit here and deliver when it counts, if you can't even get a pick off of AJ McCarron, who has been an interception magnet, shocking enough, AJ McCarron had 0 interceptions in this game. So I have to give credit where credit's due. What pretty much is going on with AJ McCarron, it definitely is showing up and showing out in the most impressive fashions. So I'm at a loss for words. I'm speechless, but it still feels pretty good for basically AJ McCarron and the Battlehawks to get back on the winning side of things, get themselves keeping their spot in that second spot. Most likely a trip to DC is in the works. That is if basically the last 4 could actually get it done. Speaking of those quintessential boys.
Yeah, I got to throw this one in.
Go ahead.
And as if this wasn't bad enough. Yeah, Vipers. Only 43 yards combined. Yeah, Brian Hill outran the Vipers by himself. But this is the glaring number. The top rusher for Vegas, John Levitt, had 19 yards on 6 carries. AJ McCarron had 4 carries for 18 yards rushing. Is that not a sign of how bad the Vipers played this game yesterday?
I mean, he ain't kidding, folks. I mean, to say the least, if the Vipers pretty much were worried about how they were going to look on paper, how they played in reality definitely was the moment where they could have been like, okay, I think we definitely. I mean, you're getting outmatched, you're getting pretty much outplayed, you're getting done in every sense of the words. So, Vipers, I don't know what you got to do to try to challenge and step up, but if you want to have any shot at least at possibly playing in the XFL North Championship game, this might be the moment where you guys might want to start doing some crazy making or something. You might want to do something to get yourselves right.
But yeah, and while Peter T got 2 sacks and Mo Smith got the other, but the Battlehawks still Carson Wells right here, 1.5 sacks. Cale London with the 0.5 sack, and then Elorm Loomer with 1, and then Travis. No, I've never been on Boy Meets World Feeney. Yeah, with the other. And Battlehawks were playing all around in this game.
I think they're starting to catch on. Even better, they say here. And actually, the one thing I was concerned about, even after giving up 200 yards to DC to basically Adams last week, they did stop the run. I mean, they only were mastering. I mean, Vipers only mastered 43 yards. Now, I would be better on this if they can do this next week when they're actually facing a team that is kind of on that bubble as far as the number 2 team in that XFL South Division, if that is going to be the case. So I'm definitely wanting to see something out of nothing, and hopefully they actually get that job done.
Now, yeah. Cap, remember last week when the Renegades went to San Antonio and beat the Brahmas 12-10? Remember that?
Yep.
Yeah, well, payback turns out to... Yeah, wait a minute. I think maybe for the first time this year, we actually get to use a phrase that you've coined so many other times throughout our illustrious history.
Of course.
Sports karma!
How interesting.
Yeah, because the Brahmas decided to go to Arlington and return the favor, beating the Renegades 15-9. Yeah.
To say the least, the Renegades looked flat in this game. I mean, even though times when I saw it, it's like they were holding on to the ball way too much. It was like it was a watered down version of Bob Stoops, is what I saw. Is what I saw in this game. This was not the same Renegade team that pretty much came firing on all cylinders at the beginning of the season. And the fact is that Arlington might want to sit here and start thinking to themselves, they could be in some trouble, because right now you're looking at a Texas South championship, but San Antonio could basically sit here and change it up to the point where now they get to not only sit here and play for that championship, but they can also sit here and be hosting the championship in epic fashion. And the fact is that these guys are in trouble. I'm gonna just say flat out, these guys are in some proverbial trouble. I don't know what's going on with Arlington, but they might want to step it up, especially with the fact that they got to play a red hot team in the Sea Dragons on Friday night.
And let's get on how this game came about, because Lordy. Yeah, Brahmas. Jawan Pass, he didn't seem like he was doing a lot of passing. He went 8 for 14 for 57 yards. Yes, folks, you're actually hearing these numbers correct. And mind you, this is from the winning team.
Well, in fairness, this guy didn't even know he was basically going to be playing this game until about 2 or 3 days beforehand. I mean, the story behind how the Brahmas ended up with this quarterback is is funny as hell, but the most inspirational one. I mean, this guy was literally on a beach, playing on a beach with his wife and his kids. Got a call from Houston, who actually asked him if he wanted to basically play, because they explained to him what the situation was. And he actually joined the Roughnecks, got traded to the Brahmas, was pretty much on a plane by, I believe, Friday, and actually made it there to be able to actually practice with the team. So, to say the least, this is actually a shocking true story of the underdog getting that moment of glory, and for him to win his debut, I gotta give the kid credit.
Hey, that's actually a cool story right there. Yeah, and then Kurt Bankert 1 for 6 for 2 yards, and he did have an interception. Jacques Patrick, 15 carries for 82 yards in that one. Landon Akers, 2 catches for 24 yards. TJ Vasher had only 1 catch out of 7 attempts for 22 yards. But it was the defense story. Delonte Scott, 2 sacks, and Drew Beasley 1. Tenny Adewusi had an interception. But the story of this one was a fumble recovery. And this is pretty much the touchdown right here. Yeah, let's see who actually got the recovery. Yeah, it's actually Jordan Way. Jordan Williams got the scoop 6, and that was pretty much the difference maker in this one. Because pretty much the rest of this game, I believe it was all field goals. Oh no, actually the Renegades, Drew played 10 for 16, 163 yards, had 1 touchdown, 1 interception. Kyle Slaughter had 6 for 13 for only 22 yards. Yeah. And let's see, the lone touchdown came from Luwan Winningham with a 16-yard strike. But also lost a fumble. Let's see. Will Clark and Devontae Lambert each had sacks in this one. Donald Payne did have the interception. But yep, we're seeing this time and time again. No running game usually means that you're not going to wind up winning a game.
You pretty much become one-dimensional in some cases. In some cases, you become flat out one-dimensional. And I think that's the problem with most of them, is that they literally become that one-dimensional people. And as much as I'd love to be able to sit here and give them props, it's like, you can't. It's like, if you actually sit here and become that one-dimensional team, you're going to, all likelihood, lose more games than you win. And this will be living proof. Like, Arlington literally just relied on the passing game when it didn't really need to be. But hey, you get what you desire. You get what you want. Here it is.
Yep. Yeah, then it also didn't help that the Renegades also missed a field goal in this one too from 36. But yeah, that's that. Yeah, then we go to Monday night. Yeah, last night, and this one, yeah, on paper, it was looking like it was going to be a good match for all it actually was. But then, yeah, DC Defenders pull away 37-26 over the Roughnecks. And yeah, let's run down the numbers of this one. Jordan Tamu, 19 for 31, 245, 2 touchdowns, no picks. And Derek King actually got a 4-yard pass on his only attempt. Abram Smith, yeah, another strong performance. Yeah, 19 carries, 95 yards, and a touchdown. Lucky Jackson, him. Folks, yeah, I'm going to leave that one alone. Yeah, 137. Yeah, 137. 5 catches, 136 yards, and a touchdown. Alex Ellis also had a 1-yard catch on his only attempt. At sacks, David Bellamy with 1, and it's Santos Ramirez and Joseph Wallace teamed up for the other. Ramirez also had, oh, wait a minute. We had a Chisel Adonis moment because Santos Ramirez had to make pick 6 for 40 yards. Yeah, that one pretty much was the difference maker. Meanwhile, for the Roughnecks, yeah, Brandon Silvers, 10 for 17, 111 yards, no touchdowns, and the aforementioned pick 6. Cole McDonald, 8 carries, or 8 for 11, 194. He actually did have the touchdown. McDonald also was the leading rusher for the team, 6 carries, 37 yards, and 1 touchdown. Max Borghi, 11 carries, 25 yards, and 2 touchdowns. And Deontay Burnett, four catches for 122 yards and a touchdown. But then Justice Smith had a fumble, but he did recover it. But only Glenn Logan was the only Roughneck to get a sack in this game. And, of course, like I said, no interceptions. Cap, what happened to Houston?
I'm thinking that basically one day, I'd like to say it, but I'm gonna say it again and again. Sports karma is a beautiful thing to have, and sports karma definitely works out when it needs to. And in this very case, this was sports karma paying dividends for I would say the wrong team, because Houston did make it a dogfight, but they could not, for some reason, for the smash mouth defense that they pretty much had all season. Apparently, that loss to Seattle had pretty much more of an impact on these guys than anything else. And I figured in my head, Houston, they would be pissed about the loss, that they would take that aggression out on DC. And it kind of did, because there was a lot of controversy in regards to this game, mainly because of what happened in the top final stretch with the barrage of suspensions and spots of fines, unnecessary roughness. There's going to be fines. There's going to be suspensions, obviously.
Wait a minute. I got to ask one question, though, because I was hearing about this one. Did I hear somebody actually got an unsportsmanlike conduct for like throwing water at a referee?
Yep.
Or an official?
Yep. They did. And that was just the most insane thing ever. And even Wade Phillips was like, are you fucking kidding me right now? But in true spirit of fashion, apparently it was just too easy for Jordan Ta'amu and De'Aaron King to actually get the job done and keep the DC United undefeated, and the snake train kept running. It's too easy for them because
it's free real estate. It's free real estate.
Hey, there you go.
Yeah, I mean, for once it actually out here, it just fired up a little bit better, and only did that once, it didn't stutter. So I'm happy about that part. But you would think that with all that maybe DC, showed me something Monday night, that it would be enough to sit here and put DC at the top, which obviously they are at every other list, but didn't even put the needle. Like, in my head, I knew that it was going to be either Houston or DC that was going to be in the top 4, but neither one of them were going to be the number 1. Sorry, not sorry, but I'm a man of my word. That
especially
being said,
like 8. Yeah, especially after they're trailing in the first half or first quarter.
That was just insanity at its finest. However, week 6 is in the books, and now we get to week 7, folks, and we will have 3 big days. We have 3 big days on top of everything that's going on with WrestleMania going on this weekend as well, which would be a good moment for LA to actually put some auditioning itself as basically a fan city, because we've heard rumors and speculation that the XFL is looking to expand either next season or the season after. So we know LA is pretty much in its crosshairs, but this will be a time to do it. That being said, if you pretty much just get a little bit, you need a little fits to get you ready for WrestleMania, you ain't going to get it from the XFL unless you basically expect somebody to get body slammed, but that might happen as well. Friday is when the XFL's week 7 begins. We have the Seattle Sea Dragons taking on those reeling Arlington Renegades. And obviously, Seattle on a nice little 4-game winning streak. They pretty much are still trying to keep pace with the Battlehawks as well as the Defenders for that spot, for one of those 2 spots in the XFL North Championship game and a game next month. So I guess the best question is going to be is, how you see this one going there, Reese?
Ooh, another short week game.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, well, thankfully for the Renegades, they didn't have to go anywhere. But yeah, after the way they've been performing the last 4 games, now actually 5 games. Yeah, I'm gonna tell you what, like, I'm not really impressed at Seattle. Like I said, they're going on the road. They're doing their thing right now. After 0-2 start, they've been like picking up the pace, and I'm gonna tell you what, getting it done on the road, done on the road so far. Yeah, I'm not seeing any reason to see why Seattle doesn't wind up winning this game.
I mean, I'm gonna be with on it. I mean, Seattle has already started strong. I think that loss to St. Louis definitely woke them up, because we pretty much both said it. If you basically are going to have that lead, you got to keep that lead, and that's pretty much what the Sea Dragons have been doing. And I'm gonna give it credit too. Seattle's definitely gonna be one of those teams that basically, if this was a different division, they would be in the XFL Conference Championship. And to be honest, I kind of feel like that may sit here and throw things up to a whole new can of worms. But, I'm almost certain I look forward to a lot of great things coming from the Sea Dragons. Maybe they can talk DK Metcalf into possibly, sign with the team for the remainder of the season. And that way they got 2 deep threats, one in Josh Gordon and obviously in Metcalf. But that's just me thinking fantasy wise. It's just me.
Yep. All right.
But
then we take it to April Fool's Day.
yeah,
Yeah.
we got a lot of fools on this on that one.
Yeah. Kick it off Saturday at 3 Eastern, noon Pacific on ESPN2 and ESPN Plus. We have the Vegas Vipers hosting the San Antonio Brahmas.
I like the Brahmas in this game. I'm gonna be honest. I think Vegas is just Vegas is beyond on life support, but that win for the Brahmas last week definitely did some noise. The defense definitely has been keeping the offense in check. I think that's another week of good practices, good play calling for their new quarterback. I feel like this is going to be a big one for the Brahmas. I see them winning this game and putting a little more pressure on the Renegades, who, and hopefully the night before, did suffer another L, which will probably sit here and move the Brahmas just one step closer to that number 2 spot and another showdown with the Roughnecks.
You know what? I want to take the Brahmas on this one,
but
and truthfully, neither one of these two teams have really impressed me like for a majority of the season.
I figured last week would have impressed you with the Brahmas. I figured, their defense actually showing up and showing out. I figured that would at least do something.
Yeah, but here's the thing. Yeah, well, their defense could do something, but it's just like their offense can't come through when it matters. And it's like, yeah, there's been times where you can only ride defenses so far because the one day they don't show up, yeah, San Antonio is really going to be in trouble with this one. But even with that, I'm still liking to take them over the Vipers because, if last week didn't show anything, I think Vegas, just proved that the only thing they can do is they better hope that Orlando is on their schedule every week for the remainder of the season.
Yeah, let's go with that. But if that game doesn't do it for you, we got a massacre due up for Saturday night. Speaking of April Fools, this is not a joke, folks. DC will be playing the Orlando Guardians. I don't know if playing is the right word to use, but for at least 1 week, the Snake Train does take a week off because DC will be on the road in Florida against the Guardians. And
that may not be true because I'll tell you what.
You really think this is going to be a trap game?
Snakes have a funny way of traveling on the road, especially down in Florida, but that's no.
This is true. I mean, they're pretty much like literally residents of Florida in this case. But I mean, DC may have its Snake Train, but they may not need the Snake Train because I don't see Orlando beating DC in any way, shape, or form. As much as I am having a massive animosity towards the defenders, Reggie Barlow has his team firing on all cylinders. Their offense is on point. Their defense is on point. The fact is that this season's going so good for DC that literally, if they don't win the XFL championship, then it's all for naught. It's a complete bust. They would lose. I feel like in words of John Cena, they would lose everything if that is the case. So pretty much at this point, it is championship or bust for DC. But the Guardians, I don't see them being much of a legitimate threat to a team that pretty much has been almost a perfect 10 on both sides of the ball. So I am going to go with DC on this one. I feel like it's going to be a massacre. I feel like it's going to be an ass whooping. I feel like it's going to be mud hole stomping, and it's all going to come from DC. I'm just calling it like I see it. I hate it, but it's the one game I actually am sure on for the weekend.
You know,
told you.
Although I do see this, no, because I actually like DC, but I'm actually feeling the trap game happens here. You've got only undefeated team against only winless team. How ironic would it be on April Fool's Day of all days?
DC beats the Fool.
Yeah, and that the Guardians get their one win of the season against DC.
As much as I love the movie, the movie reference you're going with, being Necessary Roughness, if you've never seen it, you might want to look that up. It's a damn good movie. I don't see Scott Bakula playing quarterback and bringing these
Kathy
guys
Ireland
to a big win. And Kathy Ireland basically being the kicker. I again don't see that one happening. But hey, if it comes at the expense of DC, I'm all for it. I'd be happy about it. I'll probably celebrate it snow tomorrow. But
again, I'm actually feeling DC on this one too, though, because Orlando, I don't know what it is. Like the last 2 weeks, they've shown promise, but it's like, they can't come through when it counts.
Now, last week that was more a Dean blown Dino kind of moment, and that was what happened with the Guardians. But the fact is that if they're basically wanting something big to happen and transpire, this is going to be that moment to do it. I feel like this is that time. This is that time. This is that moment. This is that place. It's got to be one of those big time things. And Orlando will pretty much have to sit here and literally get pretty much the entire Orlando Predators football team from the Arena League. They had to get them to basically come and play for them. And it'll be a little bit of a shocker going from inside to outside. But I kind of feel like that might be something. That might be the only way I see Orlando being DC. That or the entire team gets the clap from a strip club visit. That's the only way I see it.
Wait a minute, they had to go down. Wait a minute, unless Urban Meyer's there, I don't think that's gonna happen. But anyway,
I'm sure he's got free time coming though. He's got some free time on his hands.
Yeah, and then final game Sunday at 2 Eastern, 11 a.m. Pacific on ESPN and ESPN Plus. Houston Roughnecks hosting St. Louis Battlehawks.
Seattle needs Houston to win this game. It's the only way. It's pretty much at this point, it's the only way Seattle is going to be able to actually move to the second spot. St. Louis needs to win this game mainly because Arlington and San Antonio are both pretty much hoping that a Roughnecks loss drops them down to 4-3. Now, Arlington is at 500, so a win for them puts them at 4-3 and possibly puts them back in the number 2 spot. Brahmas try and get themselves back into the winning to their winning ways, and they've shown that last week. But I feel like that game against DC woke something up in those demons known as the Battlehawks. I feel like this is that moment where they get the chance to prove if they can hang with the best of them. Houston is slowly but surely crashing. The plane's going down, boys. I'm sorry to tell you, but your plane is going down. And the Battlehawks are looking like that team that I have been literally happy. I'm happy about. I'm excited about. I'm happy about it. Excited about it regardless because we got football back in St. Louis. So I'm not going to complain. But this is a game that's basically going to be that literally has playoff potential written all over it. A win for the Battlehawks keeps them at number 2. A win for the Roughnecks keeps them at number 1. But a loss for the Battlehawks possibly drops them to number 3, and a loss for the Roughnecks makes them sweat bullets just a little bit more as they got Arlington and San Antonio both creeping up, trying to take that spot back. But I'm actually going to go with the Battlehawks because I don't know what's going on with Houston, but they are literally what I saw on Monday night, not the same team I expected to see, and that may cause a little bit of a panic in Houston because these guys were on fire until they played Seattle. And Seattle, they've been on fire since they lost to St. Louis. Ergo, the common denominator is the St. Louis Battlehawks. They either make you better or they smash and stack and pin you and send you packing. Battlehawks will do that one against Houston. They're going to send them packing back home because the fact is that while it's being played in Houston, I think the Battlehawks have the moments, the opportunities. They have the chance to sit here and get this done.
Yeah, I have to say like 2 weeks in a row, 2 L's on the road. Houston has been undefeated at home now. Meanwhile, Battlehawks have been actually pretty decent on the road. Let's see, 1. All right, they are Yeah, I think 2-1 on the road. Someone's gonna have to give here. And right now, it's just that Houston, they're going in the wrong direction in a hurry, and I don't think it's gonna get better. It's like the Battlehawks, yeah, they're going in the right direction. I think they win this one in a dogfight.
I feel like that's exactly what it's going to be. And it's probably will work out well for it to be a dogfight just because of the fact that that's what both of these teams honestly need. They need a dogfight to basically solidify themselves. And St. Louis still has to find a way to basically be able to stop that run. And a better team, a great team to practice this on is going to be Houston because, as we saw last night, their passing game is looking a little more dismal than usual. I think Wade Phillips may be out of the bags of tricks for this one. I'm sure he'll have one, but I feel like it's still going to be St. Louis. It possibly could come down to that last play or that last field goal. But I feel like St. Louis will leave Houston with that W. AJ McCarron, he's fine. He's finding that second gear, and I like it. But I do believe it's time, Reese. I do believe we have finally sat here and got all this down. I haven't seen any notes or any updates from the XFL as of yet, but I believe it is time to rank these teams and give them what they deserve. Their moments in the sun, their moments in the spotlight for some. So who will take on the temporary XFL Top Spot Championship? Who will take the Broken Skull title this week? Now,
all right, let's see.
This is usually a
XFL
8-team. This is an 8-team thing. Let's put this in mind, folks. This is an 8-team. This is an 8-team team, but there's an added spot specifically for one person. Dean Blandino.
Yeah, wait a minute.
Yeah.
Wait, we actually have a crazy thing happening. Listwire USA, I think. Listwire, just to the record, Vegas actually beat Orlando's to direction 1-5, but they actually tied both teams at number 8. Don't ask me how. Like I said, I think it was just Listwire USA had both the Guardians and Vipers tied.
They had what? Well,
yeah, they had both teams tied at number.
Wow. I guess Dean Blandino, I guess you're gonna have good company. Or Dean Blown Dino, because you pretty much you already admitted you've blown a lot of calls. And I don't care what league you're in. What I saw in that game will be illegal contact and pass interference. And you know what game I'm talking about there, Dino. We're talking about what happened between Houston and DC on Monday night. Your moment of time, your moment to shine. You literally became what is in this very juncture, which I'm actually going to find a special award for. I'm going to find it eventually. But Dean, Orlando, Vegas, congratulations. Now, Reese, who's your number 8? Yeah. Before I expose this, before I play this.
Oh, wait a minute. My recipient for let's see, my number 8 for this week. All right, I'm going to go on. Yeah, I'm going to give this one to Vegas because, there's just no other way to explain this other than your
Where they at,
just
though?
Everybody singing. Everybody in Sin City, they were feeling like.
And bear in mind, this was after, Jimmy G got pretty much a deal of a lifetime. And that's how y'all show y'all appreciation Bruh. I feel bad for y'all.
But hey, at least I'll say this, at least they didn't make that offer to anybody in the Vipers.
My ass out here brought them better. So your number 8 is Vegas. And apparently we have a tie between the Vegas and Guardians. And Dean Blandino,
Thanks.
congratulations.
Yeah, of course,
You all are the
XFL Hub.
You guys are all the recipients of
Dummy, yeah. Yeah. Dummy, yeah. Yeah. Dummy, yeah. Yeah. Dummy, yeah. Yeah.
You guys are recipients of the Dummy Award. Congratulations, guys.
I love old Eli. Yeah.
That's some good ish right there. Yeah.
All right, number seven.
Oh boy.
Right, for me, yeah, I am going with the Arlington Renegades. I mean, man, y'all done went for. As a matter of fact, this actually being a perfect analogy with this one.
Mm-hmm.
Y'all done went from beating Arn Anderson for the WCW World Television Championship to having Jimmy Hart and the Giant wipe and Kevin Sullivan wipe the R off your face. That's pretty much how the Renegades have become right now. And, hey, yes, folks, we did. By the way, God rest of Rick Williams. Yeah.
That being said, yes. And again, we hadn't seen each other's lists till right now. So we're unveiling them to each other for the first time as well. My number 7, also the Arlington Renegades, because Bob Stoops, probably arguably one of the winningest coaches in college football history. The man who practically built a powerhouse in Smoke, Oklahoma. And this is his legacy in the making. This is not the same Renegades team he had a few years ago when, they pretty much were one of those ones that found all stars. But now you guys are sitting 3-3. You guys are holding on to the second spot. And it must be something in the water for basically, because the Renegades play in Arlington and literally right across the street is Cowboy Stadium. So are they becoming the new are they becoming the Cowboys of the XFL? I kind of wonder that. I kind of wonder it now. And sadly, that's what it looks like. Good luck next week, because you're playing a team that is ready, hungry, willing, and able to get the job done against you. Just put that out there. Sorry, Arlington. I don't feel bad for you.
Yeah, dude, there's just literally, no recovery for that whatsoever. Oh, wait a minute. Please tell me I knew who found it.
What? What?
Honestly, I think I finally found a promo I've been waiting for a long time for a long while.
Okay.
Wait a minute. I gotta, because this is gonna be a while, but I gotta
Do you need a moment?
I think I almost got it. There you go. Okay. Now let's hope that this will play. Because for everybody who's always wondering what I've meant when I said this, Renegades, y'all failed to do one thing.
Program me to TOS! Program me to TOS! Terminate on sight!
That's about as accurate. Terminate on sight. But Renegades, you guys don't look as dangerous as you did when the season started. And your fans are starting to catch on, and they're even going like, oh, bruh, what the hell? And they have the reason for it. But I still feel like they're still that, since how they pretty much are 3-3, they're still that team to beat for that number 2 spot. And San Antonio's caught on. Too bad Orlando has not. But
Yep.
anything can happen in the XFL. Here's your
Yep.
proof. Which brings us to number 6.
Yep. All right.
And Go ahead. I'm sorry.
Yep.
Go ahead.
At the number 6, both sides have the 2-4 San Antonio Brahmas. Captain.
I'm actually going to give this one. This is a gift. I'm going to say it loud. This is a gift. I'm going to give it to the Orlando Guardians. Even though they are literally the last winless team in this league, the fact that Dean Blondino sat here and screwed them out of a win last weekend, nobody knows if they could have won, but at least give them a fighting chance. They've been close to that cusp of that first W. I feel like you get that first W, that at least is here to get you motivated to get another and another and another. You want to sit here and have this season end on such a promising note. The Guardians, I give you this promise. Because of Dean Blondino's screw-ups, you will never be in the last spot on my list. You will never be at the last spot on my list again. I will literally not put you guys at that last. The only thing I ask in return, keep showing the heart that you were showing the last few weeks. Show me that. Keep showing that. You guys will pretty much and not. You won't be fuck it. You guys won't be in that last spot. Just keep showing the promise that you're showing me. Show that heart. Show that intensity that you guys are showing. Show that to me some more.
And let's see. Actually, I'm also picking the Guardians at number 6, despite the fact that they are winless. But Guardians, unfortunately, here's the problem. We've seen teams be on the receiving end of really bad calls. Thing is, some of those teams actually managed to overcome said bad calls and still win the game. Y'all, on the other hand, because let me just go by your fourth quarter. All right, after you make the field goal that I believe tie the game, y'all punt. Give Seattle their eventual winning touchdown. Punt again. Then you fumble. Then you turn it over on downs. Like, yeah, the bad call screwed you a little bit. Actually, it's kind of screwed you a lot because, like I said, who knows what would have happened after the touchdown, because would you have made the conversion or not? Would Seattle have even played the way they played in the second half? Who knows? But it's like you got to finish what you start. And God, I was trying not to go Cody Rhodes with this one.
Yeah, but still, it is a valid point. I mean, this is Seattle this is Orlando we're talking about. This is a team that we said this to Seattle. You said this to Seattle literally at the beginning of the season when they had leads and then lost those leads. And then they started listening to you and to me, and voila, now they are in a 4-game winning streak. So it worked for Seattle. We were hoping Orlando would have caught on to it, but for some reason, that ain't the case.
Yeah. Let's see. 5. All right. Oh, this ought to be interesting.
Yep.
Yeah, number 5 will be the 3-3 Arlington Renegades for both sides. All right, my number 5. MC Light, please don't come after me for this one. But number 5 going to the Roughnecks. I mean, damn. 2 weeks ago, y'all was sitting pretty. Y'all was on top of the world, undefeated. And now, and now y'all are suddenly like Robbie Williams. Yeah. Don't have stars directed from fate, but you know you're falling from grace. And we ain't even a quarter of way through the millennium. Or actually a century, take it back. But damn, Roughnecks. did you lose the rough part of your name?
Oof.
Y'all starting to get yeah, hold on. I think there's a word, and yeah, Cass, could you spell it? Yeah, could you spell it out for him one time? Yeah, because yeah.
You already know what's coming next. If you've ever paid attention to the collision course on Facebook, you know where we're going with this. Houston, you used to be hard, now you just wet and soft.
And
you like, Scoob?
Cass, I don't know.
There's only one word. There's only one word to describe you, and I'm gonna spell it out for you. S-A-W-F-T.
Good job there, Cass. Appreciate that one. But again, again, we have not seen each other's lists until now. With him going Cass, he just went soft. He just basically went soft. And I gotta ask the question to you, Houston.
The kid, you dig that sucker?
Yeah. So sorry, Book. I know you basically had this. I know you're a Houston native and everything else, but Houston, y'all obviously got a problem, and y'all got literally a week to try to get this shit right, because you just pretty much you played on Monday night. You played with your heart, so that's why you guys are at least at number 5. My honest intention was basically put you out like a 7 or 8, or put you out in the dummy categories along with Vegas, Orlando, and Dean Blondino, but the fact is that you guys had such promise. Then y'all went from the East Coast to the West Coast. You pretty much victimized, and conquered Orlando. You did so bad, you kept running that score up, and Sports Karma came back and bit you in the ass in the form of a dragon. And Ben DiNucci looked like that all-star quarterback that literally did everything he could. And he did exactly that. That being said, Houston, you are definitely falling from grace. Now, you are praying it's not too late. You are praying it's not too late. Yes, I know what song you were referring to. That's why I smiled a little bit. But this is the biggest moment for you. This is the moment for you, Houston. Because the fact is that you got to turn it around if you guys will at least stay at the top of that division. The North looks like a dogfight. The South looks more like a cuck fight, if anything else. Yes, I say cuck, not cock. There's a big difference between the two, because apparently there's no balls in the South Division. Proven. Because the one team we all thought could actually get the job done last night to give DC that one was the Roughnecks. Clearly that did not happen. So enjoy. Y'all are number 5. Sorry and not sorry. Which brings us to the Final Four. And hopefully our Final Four is a lot better than the Final Four that we got to deal with in Houston later this weekend. But, I digress.
And, yeah, anybody who had a bracket, yeah.
It's gone. Forget about it. But.
All right, for XFL News Hub, they had the Roughnecks. Yeah, 4-2. Then I had the 4-2 Battlehawks. Cap, who's your number 4?
My number 4 is actually going to go to the team that actually showed that defense can win. It may not win championships, but it'll at least win you some games. San Antonio, you welcome to the top 4. You have gotten here. Now keep it up. The only thing you guys got to do is just keep the winning going. Yes, I get it that you're still a little sting from that Arlington loss, but beating Arlington in their own backyard, priceless. Because then at least that way you can sit here, you can give Arlington the finger, and then you can, on your way out, you can also give the Cowboys the finger. It's a win-win. Fair and valued. Fair and balanced there, folks. There it is.
Yep. All right, and I'm riding with that one. Brahmas, getting the number 4 spot because even though it was kind of ugly how they did it, they still got the W. And basically what they did was they took their horns and shined them up real nice. Then they proceeded to turn them some bitches sideways and stick them straight up the Renegades' candy asses.
All accurate. It was all bloody accurate. That's the biggest thing. I know people were going to go, well, you know, it's kind of one of those things where, you know, hey, they got lucky. No. San Antonio played with heart. They played with pride. They played with respect. And the fact is that they actually got the job done. And I think a lot of people are starting to start giving them credit where credit's due. They earned that one. And the biggest thing is we gotta be good at this.
All right.
We gotta be good with it. We're ready for the top 3 now. Ready for the medal ceremony.
Yep. Number 3. Oh, this is a little bit of switch. Yeah, number 3, XFL News Hub. Oh, they actually gave it to the 4-2 Sea Dragons. Well, that's why I went with 4-2 Roughnecks. My number 3, I am actually going to give it to. I'm actually going to ride with the Sea Dragons as well. Did the sea to see all these jabronis give their victory earnings to Dean Blondinos. All right. Sorry, Rock. I was trying to pull it off, but I couldn't. But yeah, all right. But in fairness to Sea Dragons, yeah, like I said, started from the bottom, now they there. And I had to admit, I was kind of wondering if Ben DiNucci could wash off some of that Cowboys ilk from him. Now, there's still small traces of it left, but I gotta admit, the man's coming through and winning for this team. And I'm gonna tell you what, Seattle's gonna be that really, really, really dangerous team. And not to mention, I think them and the Battlehawks still have a meeting in St. Louis coming up in week 9. I'm going to be real interested to see how that matchup plays out. Cap, who's your number 3?
Oh, my number 3, as I said, I'm a man of my word. It's going to the undefeated asterisk DC Defenders. Yeah, DC, did you think I was kidding? I told you guys would never be the top team in my list. And the fact is that I'm just trying to make sure that you guys sent those gift baskets with that extra bribe money to Dean Blondino or not, because I never seen so many blown fucking calls in a game in my life. And what happened on Monday and last week with the Battlehawks is the proof that Dean Blondino is literally determined to make sure you guys are the ones. But the fact is that Dean Blondino ain't Roman Reigns. He ain't Paul Heyman. Hell, he's not even an oos. He's what Jimmy would call a fake ass oos, to say the least. So the best way to put it, DC, you may be undefeated. You may have probably one of the best fan interactions in the world with the snake train. I like it. I'm not gonna lie. I like the snake train and the lemons. I like them. But if you pretty much here rely on the officiating to get you guys your W's, that's what I gotta give you the finger and tell you to sit and spin. So sorry, DC. While everybody else is riding your coattails, I'm more stubborn on the damn thing. Just watch you yank back and come back to reality. Sports karma will find you. It found Houston. It will find you.
Right. And now that leads us to the runner-up spots. At number 2, yep, Yeah, let's see. It's and yeah, he's a runner-up, Cap. Yeah.
Oh, my runner-up. Oh, sorry. I was reading this thing from Danny Garcia and Dwayne Johnson in regards to they're making it. They just announced that they just had an interview you say today that says that it is confirmed we will have a 2024 XFL football season. So this is not a one and done, one trick pony. There will be a new season of the XFL. I am happy about that. I am ecstatic about that one. And the fact is that is big promise because while the numbers are showing something different, the league is showing promise, and that's what matters. The people want options. They want options. They don't want just NFL all the damn time. And they're getting those options. They're taking advantage of those options. A lot of cities that pretty much needed this option. Two of those happen to be Las Vegas and San Antonio. San Antonio's been starving for a team. But I digress. My number two, and while it may pain me to say it, I actually went to my missus, my better half, my tag team partner, to actually come with me on this one to give me the thoughts on who deserved the number two and the number one. Because I literally had set for one of these two teams to be my number one and number two. My number two, and again, pains me to say it, my number two is the St. Louis Battlehawks. Nothing what they did whatsoever. They got back on the winning horse. They just do what Houston did and just take that L and keep packing on the L's. I am happy about the way they showed, about the display they showed last weekend. I was happy about it. My nieces now know exactly who the Battlehawks are because they watched me and mimicked me in the barrage of football games and hockey games we watched over the weekend. My nieces just turned 3 years old, and now they're pretty much sitting here being me. That's a scary thought for you people. Imagine when my daughter gets here. It's going to be even worse. It's going to be crazier. That being said, yes, Battlehawks, you didn't do anything wrong. It's just a matter of which team I feel like has shown the better promise as far as pretty much between last week and this week goes. You guys killed the Vipers. Show it to me against the Renegades. I guarantee you guys will be number one in my list next week.
My runner-up. Yep. I actually went DC on this one. Because granted, although better matchup, but performance-wise, yeah. I actually had to go with my number one team with saying that they actually had the best performance today, and I'm going to give this warning to DC. That despite the fact that you only have one really hard game left, and that being a Week 8 trip to Seattle, don't think that Orlando, Arlington, or San Antonio can't knock you off before the remainder of the season.
Just be facts.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, especially because with three of those teams kind of having an outside shot of sneaking into the playoffs with a little help, yeah, that's going to make them a little more dangerous. That by the time that they play around y'all. So don't rest up. Yeah, so I'm going to tell you what, you rest up on your laurels. Yeah, y'all can wind up joining Houston in a couple weeks. All right, and now we need the gold.
The gold has arrived. At least at this point. As I said, this is the temporary one. The real thing will be here. Will be here by playoff time. I did just check on it. It will be here by playoff time, so I'm very excited about that one. The probably the best sounding trophy I ever seen. I'd ever seen. And Reese, you're the reason why we actually named it that trophy. Yeah. And it in my eyes, it was a great name for it. The Siegfried Rock Memorial Championship will be here by playoff time. We will have an official inaugural winner, and it might even be the champion. Who knows? But for now, we have the Broken Skull. And doesn't Steve also used to do a Broken Skull challenge where basically you find out the fortitude of a team?
Yep.
You find out the fortitude of one stuff. This is talking about a whole different team. Let's talk about this one. So when I actually went with the number one, I wanted a team that could be down, but not out, not giving up, not caving in to the BS. And while Orlando is showing promise, they have not been able to get over that hump. While San Antonio is showing promise, they are starting to get over that hump. Vegas still having its own little problems where they start hard, start heavy, but then go soft somewhere down the road. Houston is starting to take that backwards turn. Ours is starting to take that backwards turn. DC honestly is actually looking like one of the toughest teams in the league right now. Not because of their record, but just because of the fact that they basically don't relax. They don't relax. They just keep on pounding. Keep pounding. Yes, yeah. I'm using the Carolina Panthers reference. St. Louis, exact same way. They lost, and then they got right back on that horse, and they came back and decided to do a little cock slapping in Vegas, which apparently is now Jimmy G's house. So they probably would stop by Jimmy G's house or one of his many houses, but I digress. My team that has earned the Broken Skull Championship on, as far as my list goes, is the Seattle Sea Dragons, because this team started 0-2 and they have been winning since then. It's almost as if they got woken up to, dude, they obviously Seattle's paying attention to us because they are waking up. They are coming back. They are getting it back on the thing. They're getting back in the saddle. They're getting them. Ben DiNucci is looking like a quarterback that I actually can respect that has worn a Cowboys uniform. That is a big deal. Ben DiNucci is playing like that guy that we know, and he's playing like that quarterback he should have been. He is who we thought he was. And in fact, to put it as nice as possible, he is one of the biggest reasons. Him and Flash Gordon have been going back to back, side to side. Exactly when it comes down to it. This team, Seattle, watch out. Because even if Seattle does not make those playoffs, they will be a force to be reckoned with whatever team decides to step up next season. And this season's not over yet. So Seattle has a chance to basically be those ones that give DC that one. Seattle, you've earned it. 2 weeks in a row, you are top in my book.
Yep. All right, and my number one, well, actually, all you just got to do is look right below your nose. Yeah, because my number one, I am giving it to the St. Louis Battlehawks. That's the most complete game I've seen, and sometimes you do what you're supposed to do. You know you got a low unsuccessful Vegas team. You go into their house and you just like kick ass. AJ McCarron, like I said, although he did take the 3 sacks, they were very minimal. But offensively had damn near one of the best games he's had, and that's even counting his college career. 23 for 29, 3 touchdowns, no picks. Like I said, defense was on fire with 4 sacks in the game. Lavert Hill with 2 interceptions, and it was like all around. It was all Battlehawks from start to finish. He had a first quarter. Yeah, it was kind of a little bit of deadlock, but then the second quarter they pulled away and they weren't turning around looking back since. And apparently AJ must have heard me last week when I called him out and saying, "What do you need Brent Musburger to start making compliments about Catherine? Is that the only time you play good games?" But guess what? AJ said, "Yeah, I don't need Catherine in the stadium to play a good game. All I just need to do is just know who the hell I am." So, Battlehawks, yep, you are my champions this week.
This is how it goes, folks. We are in week 6. This is the 6-pack challenge. It has come and it's gone. You guys should at least here give everybody a fair shot here. And honestly, we're all about that. Here at the No Filter Network, definitely jump in because literally at just a little under an hour from now, we'll have the Bleacher Birds doing the spring training tour. AJ and Duncan Dad will be on that one. We'll have Eric Burns. My apologies, Burnsie. Deuces Wild going on at 6 o'clock. These are all Pacific times tonight. Just to give you a heads up. Joe Quills will be going at 6:15 with his daily show. We'll also have Daily Hustle going on to right early tomorrow morning to get your blood flowing. We'll have the Duncan Dad with his pouring perspective at 9:15, and of course we'll have the man, the myth, the legend himself, Rockin' Reese, doing Rockin' Jocks tomorrow at 2, and the Bleacher Birds show tomorrow night at 5. When we tell y'all we want the smoke, apparently they didn't hear us the first time, so we'll say it again.
Yep, we want the smoke. Hey, Kev, I got a question for you.
Shoot.
I was thinking, how's your Mondays looking?
My Mondays pretty much were good. What are you thinking?
Well, I'm thinking there's something we hadn't done in a little while. And I'm thinking we need to get back on course.
Are you saying what I think you're saying? Are you saying that basically you're ready to collide?
Yes, I am. And matter of fact, I think I got a perfect date to re-premiere us. Because with the NBA season wrapping up on the 9th, I'm thinking, how do you feel about the 10th, since that's the little gap in between that and the play-in tournament?
You has me at course, sir. We told y'all.
Yep. All right, then it's official then, as soon as we pick a time, of course. Yep. April 10th, the collision course returns. Yep. Like I said, gonna be right time because it'll be, because NBA season will end the day before. I think we'll be in the final week of the NHL season, so.
And baseball should be kicking into full swing. Yep. And the XFL will start getting a little quieter with basically the Final Four teams are starting to look a little bigger.
And then we'll also have a USFL return that week. And we'll probably have the ending to one of the craziest Final Four. Oh, actually, one of the craziest March Madnesses we have had, both men's and women's.
So what he's saying, folks, don't be obsolete. Delete the past. Focus yourselves on that future. And as I said at the beginning of the broadcast, folks, my thoughts and my prayers, my condolences, and everything in me goes out to the families affected by the tragedy of the shooting that happened at a Christian school in Nashville yesterday.
And also thoughts to the 2 officers that actually prevented this from being worse than what it turned out to be. I'm
going to tell you right now, I am going to love the day that we be able to wake up and not have a shooting or an act of violence or a call to violence or any of that. I love be able to wake up to a world where that's not possible. And I'm hoping that it is going to be coming very quickly in a huge hurry. I was going to actually end this one with the video, the video of the actual camera footage from one of the officers, but I am going to be respectful and I'm not going to do that one. But what I will do is I'll say this one. If this is not enough to basically get y'all basically opening, like coming to the realization that something needs to change, I don't know what is.
Yeah, it says shout outs to officers Rex Engelbert and Michael Colazzo. Yeah, who were the 2 officers who subdued the Nashville shooter.
And honestly, you guys are my honorary champions in my book. I'm going to put it like this. You guys are the honorary champions here for Team Collision. But
damn it, I'll make them my number 1. Sorry. I'll make them number 1 tied with St. Louis.
But all good things have to come to an end. And week 6 is in the books. It is time for week 7. Week 7 kicks off on Friday.
Yep, 7
If you're
o'clock Eastern, 4 o'clock Pacific.
It's like I'm already pumped.
Yeah,
I'm already
of course,
pumped.
with the
I'm ready.
Renegades hosting the Dios. Yeah, Renegades host the Seattle Sea Dragons. Of course, that game on FX and ESPN Plus. Then Saturday, 3 Eastern, noon Central, or 3 Eastern, noon Pacific. Vipers host the Brahmas. Then that'll be on ESPN2 and ESPN Plus. Then at 6 Eastern, 3 Pacific, Guardians host the Defenders on ESPN and ESPN Plus. And then Sunday at 2 p.m. Eastern, 11 a.m. Pacific, Roughnecks will host the Battlehawks. That'll be on ESPN and ESPN Plus. That is your Week 7 schedule.
Are you focused yet? Because if you ain't, don't worry. Team Collision will have your back. But you guys got to sit here and enjoy some games. On behalf of my broadcast colleague, Rocket Reese, this is the Captain Ron Johnson. Thanks for joining us for today's Aftermath. Don't forget, folks, we just getting warmed up. Bleacher Brothers is going worldwide. We're just getting a little bit better with age. We are that fine wine. Night all.
Peace.
You can call a judge, tell her kiss my ass, cause I ain't gon' bug. And I ain't going back to lock up. You're trying to clock a pop up. I ain't going back to broke, and I'm never gonna stop the puffin'. Not for nothing. The block, they need me. The streets, they need me. The club scene, nigga, it's mine, believe me. You don't believe me?